This is Anegbete community, situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. In Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is, the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set roll out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the royal family takes the stage as their children fight out royally and work in the community to showcase their might and fitness.
My leader. The Esama of Benin Kingdom thanked the new Edion for visiting him and advised them to always abide by the rules and regulations of their new positions. The Esama urged them to indulge in what will continue to bring development and progress to the community.
When I say it's your Edion, I wait to us and I know what I've Papa. Caliban was in a cocono, no, we said, who paid you? Who paid you? Papa. Eko mwana sewa. Ewa ya lote nete dirwe asewa maboma. Awe uwe nini. Ejo uhi. Ejo na wele. Ejo na pulupe. Ejo na mluya kwa ewa. Bawe kwa ba. Ojo uwe. Kaja de nena ya de wuyi wa wu ate wona mo no ma se lo kai
ITV, certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
welcome to yet a fresh episode on the program Law and You, as we spotlight very, very important, issue that we see every day in our everyday transactions. Now, do you know that owing money in Nigeria can cost you more than just the interest? It can cost you your peace of mind. It can also cost you your dignity. It can cost you even sometimes your life. A situation where, you get midnight calls after getting your daytime calls, from those that you took the money from, to a point even where you are being harassed or sometimes even brutalized, and also to a point where you are facing a demand notice or a court order, and then law enforcement and all the rest. How then can we draw the line legally, or what the laws of the land apply to where we can draw the line between what is a legal means of recovering debt and what is also an illegal means of recovering debt? My name is Philip Omo-Gyukpong. This is the courtroom where we'll look at these issues and find a way to resolve them. And discussing this with me, I have a legal practitioner with me, and his name is Emmanuel Obakwalo. Big thanks for joining me in this new year.
Good day, Philip. Good day, Nigerians.
All right, so let's look at the background on what debt is before we go into total about where we can draw the line between what can be called illegal debt recovery and illegal means of recovery.
Debt recovery is a pure civil matter.
Oh, it's not criminal.
Civil, yes. And there are legal frameworks.
You mean owing debt is a civil case?
Civil. Pure civil.
If the debtor defaults?
Civil. But there are legal frameworks on debt recovery. And what are these? They are 14 in number. But time may not permit us to begin to go through them all.
Absolutely.
So we may choose some of them. 1, the Companies and Allied Matters Act. 2, the Central Bank Act. 3, the High Court Civil Procedure Rules of various states. 4, the Federal High Court Civil Procedure Rules of the Federation. 5, we have the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Company. These are some of this debt recovery we have. We also have the Alternative Dispute Resolution Act. Now, when you look at debt recovery, like I did say, is a pure civil matter, and it has procedure and processes to be followed. Now, if A gets money from B, or loans money from B, or borrowed money from B, you are to pay back that money based on the conditions upon which the loan was given. So it becomes a contract between the parties. And the party that is now the loanee, the party that is now the debtor, is duty bound to obey the conditions upon which the contract was entered.
Even if the conditions does not meet the requirement by law?
The conditions must be, it is only the court that has the power to interpret whether or not the conditions meet the requirement or does not meet the requirement. Where they don't meet the requirement, the court will find out it.
Okay.
Because, you see,
even if the court finds out it, but the loanee has signed to that. So there's a contractual agreement.
Yes. Somebody can be that so desperate and assign and go to sign anything that will even be to his detriment.
So can the court admit that, being that the person signed to that agreement, even though it doesn't, or it negates, or it breaches the constitutional provision? The
court may, where it breaches or it violates the law.
Okay.
The court will not accept the conditions.
We ignore the signature.
Yes. The court will not accept it in total.
Okay.
The court will want to look at the fairness of the condition.
Okay.
And what it should be, what the law says.
To administer justice.
Yes, with respect to it, because the court only gives justice. And the court looks at, and justice can be two-way traffic. So the court considers that. So, and as such, in such a situation, even the debtor can get the approval of the courts for protection. Okay. The law protects also the debtor. So that is what we look at. And that is what the court considers when there is a matter of such nature before
is this what you just said is indicative of a contract, but let's look at, as in a written contract, I mean, but let's look at a situation where there's just a verbal agreement, like friendly loans, for instance. I don't want to use the word, but let me use the word informal loaner or lender giving to a friend, like me giving to a friend and saying, well, 2 months back I needed money, okay, but by the time my friend now defaults, just a verbal gentleman agreement, you know. By the time he now defaults, do we have the local standard to litigate?
Yes. You know, contracts, there are two types of contracts. There is the implied contracts, which is a verbal contract. It simply means that the contract is not spelled out in black and white. The contract is not written. It takes the form or pattern or nature of a gentleman's agreement. Such contracts, the law also allows it, recognizes it rather, and allows the contract to be between parties, just as because the law recognizes it, and the law also considers situations of such. There is also the express contract. This one now is a contract entered by the parties where they spell out the contract, the conditions,
written,
the terms, everything that the parties must do with respect to that contract. And you see, express contract is always easier for the parties who entered it.
For debt recovery,
yes,
it's always easier.
Yes, because of the contract is spelled out,
documented,
that every person, every Tom, Dick, and Harry can read and understand that this is a contract entered by the parties. However, where in an implied contract or what is known as gentleman agreement, there are also conditions the court will look at, particularly where that loan that was given or the borrowings that was administered frowns are contrary to conditions of debt of loans. I get me, of loans. For instance, the interest. If the interest is over burdensome, if the interest contradicts the percentage as provided for by law, the law will also look at such contract that the parties ought to be fair to themselves, with respect to that contract. So what the court
the one norm takes effect.
Yeah. So what the court
situation.
Yeah. So what the court does is that the court looks at the fairness of the condition between the parties or amongst the parties, as the case may be. So in debt recovery, there are legal process to recover your debt. However, in course of carrying out the debt recovery, if a party, either of the party, choose to assault or batter another, it now has a criminal flavor.
Okay. Before we go there, let's exhaust and explore this aspect you just said, most especially, for instance, for how you call it, a gentleman agreement, verbal agreement, and this does not involve, the lender having the license to do that. How does the court address this?
Where the lender is not a certified lender, it becomes an issue.
For debt recovery, you mean?
Yes.
Or
for
to
debt.
litigate? Both.
When you want to recover debt, you follow the processes. If you choose to toe the line of alternative dispute resolution, where a mediator is appointed, even for there to be a mediator, it is the parties that must apply to court. The parties must apply. So the court appoints, or the court appoints to them a mediator for them. But in most contracts today, the parties in their agreement where the loan now is an express one, that means documented. The parties themselves always put in that contract a clause suggesting the process of how to recover the debt. They put a process. They may say, okay, where the loanee violates this, our first step will be that we will both appoint a mediator who is to sit to determine the matter between the two of us. And where that doesn't work, we cannot choose to go to court. Where that happens, sir, the parties, where there is a violation of the terms and conditions of that contract, either of the party cannot just run to court to seek redress. If you go where the conditions of the contract is now brought to court, and the court sees that there is a clause that says that first the parties must go to a mediator, seek an alternative dispute resolution to ensure that this matter is determined. The court will now ask the parties to go and do so. Until that fails, that is when they cannot come to court. And in most modern contracts today, that is the pattern they follow in recovery of debt. They ensure that the process upon which the debt will be recovered is followed, is infused in that contract. So that's why it is safer and better to have an express contract with respect to loan or borrowings.
All right, thank you.
The parties will be more secured than the oral one where there may be a processes or method of denial.
All right. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Well, this is Law and You in case you're just coming across it. And my name is Philip Omo-Gyukma. I'll be speaking with Emmanuel Obakwalo, a legal luminary. And we're going to be taking a short break, after which we'll delve deeper into the topic, most especially the aspect of harassment and seizure of property. Where does the law draw the line? To stay. Welcome back. The show is Law and You. I still have my guest with me now. Can a loaner or a lender, seize the loanee's property without due process?
No. It becomes an offense. It becomes a crime.
It becomes a crime?
Yes.
Or a civil wrong?
The civil wrong will not metamorphose to a crime because you cannot seize the property of a debtor or a loanee without a court order.
Okay, a court order must be there.
You cannot. You don't have that power.
Okay, but let's paint a scenario where the lender is not really registered by law.
Whether or not it's not a certified lender or a legal lender, a legal lender cannot seize.
Talk less.
More of a lender that is not certified. You cannot seize someone's property. That's why some of these persons who call themselves private lenders, who are registered, you see them, one of the conditions they give most times when there is need to borrow money from them, they will give a condition of bring a landed property.
Yeah, like collateral security.
Yes.
My mind was going there.
Bring a landed property. And most times their interest, they will want to go and know the land, see where the land is, and they begin to pick interest. So by the time the lender is defaulting, the loanee or the borrower is defaulting, you see them begin to show interest with respect to that land. At times they will just go sell they pretend to sell the property to somebody, then that person will overturn or sell the property to them again. So and when they want to present before the court, if the matter now goes to court, they'll say that they sold. The court will say, no, you don't have that power. You don't have that power. Where there is a default of the contract entered by the parties, the best method or best step to take is to seek redress. Go before the court and say, XYZ had violated the agreement, the contract entered between us or between the parties. And as such, I want to recover my money. The court will come up with a proper judgment.
Okay.
Someone that will even give both parties peace.
Okay, take for instance, in the gentleman's agreement, there was an agreement that if you are not able to pay me in 2-3 months, I pick your car. Is that admissible in court?
It isn't.
Even if the loanee signed to it?
It isn't. You should pay back your money. And even if there's any need for the car to be sold, he should by himself sell his car and give you your money. It's safer and it's legal. But where there's a seizure of the car by the lender,
that becomes an illegal means of debt recovery.
Illegal means of debt recovery. And you know, it suggests crisis between the parties. But mind you, at the point of entering into that contract, the parties enter into the contract with peace, smiles, joy, and happiness. But now that you want to recover the debt, there's now crisis.
Because money is involved.
Not only that, especially where you follow illegal means to recover that debt. There will be crisis between the parties. Where you follow legal means, for instance, you go to court for redress, the other party will even be more afraid.
Okay.
And may want to seek an alternative dispute ADR means of resolving the matter. May say, okay, may tell the court, my lord, can we settle out of court? Maybe at the close of the day, the court may pass such as consent judgment between the parties. But where you toe the line of illegality to recover that debt, it becomes an issue.
Okay, let's look at how a loaner, or rather a lender, can get his debt back in terms of what is being owed, can recover his debt, most especially if he is not having the required license, and there are charges or interest that was inbuilt, because we had this conversation off camera. So I want you to bring back on record as in if such a lender or a gentleman who gave that money out, if he has the legal backing to impute interest when he has no license as a lender.
It's commonsensical. He doesn't have right to request for any form of interest. He doesn't have that right.
On the basis that he's not licensed?
Yes, he doesn't have that right. Because that purported or supposed contract entered by the parties is even an illegal contract. And an illegal contract cannot become legal by seeking redress in the court.
But the court can give it a soft landing, mostly to the creditor, because it was just an act of kindness.
Act of kindness.
Say, for instance, I'm lending money to a friend. It was an act of kindness. And
act of kindness.
You can't tell me I can't get the money back, even though I built interest on it.
No, you can't get that interest.
I can't get the money with the interest.
Yes.
What makes you say so?
Because you are not a certified lender.
Okay, so what would the court do, or what do we have as the law?
So it still depends on.
I only get my money back without it.
Yes, and it depends on the process you also follow.
Considering the fact that this money has spent months, I would have rather given my money into the business and then it yields profit.
It is not.
Isn't the law going to also find a way to resolve that? Because it involves money that I would have kept into the business and it would have yielded profit.
It is not the duty of the court to know how long the debt has been and the time you choose to recover the debt. It is not the duty of the court. That contract from the outset is an illegal contract. So you cannot now give it the flavor of legal or legality to ensure because
it passed through the bank, for instance, and it was written loan.
Mind you, you just told me that it's a gentleman agreement between two friends, and the lender is not a certified lender. So it's the toga on that contract is that it is a mere gentleman agreement between the parties. So he can seek redress to recover the debt, but the interest, he is not qualified to do that. He is not. He can just say, I need my money. Stricto sensu. And mind you, there is going to be a counter also from the borrower.
Okay.
To say, no, it was this, it was not this.
Okay, so let's look at the safest way, because it's one thing for you to request for money as a loan. It's another for you to keep integrity and get this money paid. Now, what's the safest way? Because we are advising the public, for instance. What's the safest way to get money as loans?
One,
is it from just the bank?
The bank.
Microfinance bank also?
Yes.
Certified?
Certified. Go to the bank. Make an application. We have too many banks. We have the Bank of Industry. We have the Bank of Agriculture. It depends on what you want to do with the money you want to loan. Because first, you must convince the bank what you want to use the money for. Not because you want to buy tissue paper. You now go and apply in the court, in the bank, that you need a loan.
Or personal consumption.
Or you want to, or you want to buy phone for yourself. You go to the bank and apply for loan. No. What will the money be used for?
That's where we are, because this stringent means, all right, tied to getting loans from banks, brought a point where we now see loan sharks, digital loans, feasting on the unsuspecting public. So how do you address that bottleneck in the banks, for instance?
Technology also has its own disadvantage. I saw somebody who has an app on his phone, and he was using it to get loans, small loans, from some illegal
loan sharks.
Yes. And one of the days they called him to say, come, you are already owing over 50-something thousand naira. Come and pay. We are giving you 3 days to come and pay the money. And he was running up and down. I said, why did you do that?
So to avoid that, how do we tackle that aspect of the banks, for instance? Because we're going to be rolling this into a fresh episode, and we'll delve deeper into the digital loans that you just made mention of. But before we round off in less than 3 minutes, how do we clear off the bottleneck system in the regular banking system, for instance, that now gave room for all of these, ways by which those who are applying for loans now seek other means instead of seeking the right way where they will not be defrauded. So how do we address the bottleneck system in banks?
The banks should ensure that the processes to
flexible.
Get loans are flexible, because just now it is very cumbersome.
But the bank doesn't allow personal consumption.
No, you cannot, because like you are hungry. You want to go and apply for loan.
You must
what do you do with the money? Convince the bank, because the bank too,
except it's a salary account, for instance.
Yes, the bank too
that can be given on personal consumption.
Yes, because you have a salary account. Yes, but if at the end of the day, when the salary comes, the bank takes the money.
But if it's not, then maybe we'll be looking at the turnover, for instance.
Because the bank also consider how much is this person applying for, the amount of the money. So that will now make the bank to be strict and ensure that the process is strict. Why? The bank want to be safer, to ensure that they are not giving their loan to the wrong person, and that their loan will come as at when due. And two, even the borrower will not be a fraudulent person.
Okay.
2. And 3, 4, the borrower too will use the money for the purpose for which it was applied for.
All right, thank you, Emmanuel Obakpolo. Awesome to have you join on this very, very sensitive and fresh topic on today. We're going to be looking at this, an extension, which is the second episode, which we'll be looking at still on debt recovery, both the legal and illegal means. Do well to join us same time next week. I am Philip Omo Gupon. Bye for now.
RTV, certainly the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we are seeing on the stage is the Toro Cultural Priest of Quebec. On the other side, we have the Gymnastic Boys. Gymnastic Boys, we don't know what we want to do now. We are bringing upstairs. We are at the first floor. We don't know if we are going to do the second floor. Always.
ITV, certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
Joining us today on the program, Woman to Woman, I'm Adesu Walsawagie. It seems like I'm alone today, but not really. I'm going to be joined by Favor Aniye Omorege via Zoom today. And today on Woman to Woman, we want to look at something that is very pressing. It's very important. You know, in those days, marriages used to last like 50 years, 60 years, and still counting. But these days, marriages don't last anymore. Why? Because some men have said that it is due to lack of respect. that their women do not respect them. And so they cannot be in a marriage where the woman does not have respect for them. So today we want to look at building strong family relationship through mutual respect, all right? Respect for the man, respect for the woman. So ordinarily, respect should be a two-way traffic, not a one-way traffic. Only the woman is just giving the respect, and the man is not doing anything. Some men feel that it is their birthright to be respected, but you need to earn it. You have to earn it. You are in a relationship with a woman, and both of you have become one. You are now equal. Yes, you are equal. All right? If you give the woman a bit of respect, the woman will respect you too. But when you move from street to street, house to house, you know, choosing side chicks or befriending girls everywhere you go to, you think your wife will respect you? No way now. You cannot get such respect. So you have to earn it. You have to behave like the man that you're supposed to be to earn it. So Favor is going to be joining me for us to discuss some salient topics or some points that would make relationships stronger so that marriages will last long. Because when there is a divorce, it is the children that usually suffers, particularly when the children are young. They suffer a lot. Some stepmothers are from another world. They are from another world, because when you see some stepmothers act, honestly, you don't need to look for Lucifer when you see some stepmothers behave. I tell you. So if you don't want your children to suffer in the hands of such stepmothers, you need to, as a matter of urgency, do something to make your marriage work. All right? So we'll take a short break now. When we come back, Favor Eniye Omorige will be joining us to talk about this issue of building strong relationship in marriage. We'll take a break now.
ITV, certainly the best.
So thank you once again for joining us on the program, Woman to Woman. So, Favor, good afternoon.
Oh, my sister, how's everything today?
Okay, thank you for joining us today on the program, Woman to Woman. So we want to look at some of the things that will help us build strong family relationship through mutual respect, because some men, actually I got calls, not from one, not from two, not from three, from several men on Woman to Woman radio version to say that they love their wives, but they cannot keep up with staying with their wives. They want a divorce. How can they go about it and all of that? Because the kind of respect that they want, they are not getting it from their wives. And so no man wants to stay with a woman who also nags from morning till night, right? So let me start by asking you this question. What does respect mean to you in a family context? What does respect mean in a family setting?
Respect in a family setting means honoring one another. Respect ideally is supposed to be a mutual activity that occurs between couples or between members of a particular family. It's giving people opportunity to have their boundaries, respecting the boundaries of your spouses while honoring whom they are. Irrespective of how familiar you are with your spouse, it's expected that respect goes beyond our regular greetings. It's what we do, how we act, how we relate. Everything that we do in words, in thoughts, in action. That's what respect usually entails in a family. It goes beyond just serving food, just greeting in the morning, greeting in the noon, and all of that. Respect in a marriage or family setting is an activity that members of a family, couple this time around, engage in. It has to do with honoring the personality, the person that you are with as a woman, honoring the person that you are with, honoring him, you know, as your Prince Charming, let me use that word. All right? So it's not talking down on your spouses and joining this feminism stuff That's not what respect is. Loving your spouse the way he is. Accepting him, accepting his weaknesses and his strength. That is respect.
Now, why do you think women disrespect men? Or why do you think wives disrespect their husbands?
A lot of things can make wives to disrespect their spouses. Even, you know, though some of these things are not supposed to be, but in our present day, we discover that women, it can be due to our society, what the societal values, the way they are now looking at men. It can be due to the capability of the men in terms of their financial and economical strength. Okay, it can also be a character problem from the women themselves. A lot of things can make women disrespect their spouses. When there's lack of love and unity in a home, it can make the woman to disrespect a man.
Okay, so what do you think, how do you think a woman can cope with a man who brings out the worst in her? You know, there are some women, ordinarily they are good women, they are calm women, but when they marry to some kind of man, you see the other side of that woman. She's not even happy with herself, and then she brings out all of those bad things in her. So how can a woman cope with a man who gives out all of the stress?
Well, the first thing she has to do for herself is to love herself. Love herself enough to create boundaries where no matter what her husband does, it doesn't break through that boundary, that's a barrier of protection. The truth of the matter is, you are whom you are. When you respond, the way you respond to pressure, the way you respond to negative activities or occurrences, that's actually your true person. If you are saying that this woman was good, but it's the man that is bringing out the bad in her, that's to say she's bad. The man is only the pressure that she's getting from her man.
There was this time somebody called me to say that he wants advice because he wants to divorce his wife. The wife does not respect him. The wife does this, the wife does that. And then in the course of interviewing the man, it was discovered that the man was doing so many things wrong, believing that he's right because he's a man. He sees nothing wrong in having side chicks, and then he has this way of rubbing it in his wife's face, as in, am I the only one doing it? And you want the woman to respect you. Are there no men who are enjoying themselves, who have 3, 4, 5 girlfriends and all of that? And you're saying that to your wife. And the man believes that is a normal thing because that is what the line of discussion is where he works. He said they talk about it freely. And some of them even claim that their wives knows and even knows their girlfriends and all of that. And you think it's every woman that can take that. Oh God, no. I don't know if you're watching this program today, all right? So, like they say, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. So you have to be careful the way you treat your wife. You don't flaunt your side chicks in front of your wife, okay? And if you want to respect, you act like one, like you really deserve it. You don't force it. You earn it. All right. I'm a woman, and a woman respects men who are capable. Yes, I tell you for free. And even when the man does not have, and you're showing some level of understanding, some level of humility, some level of love to that woman, the woman does not really mind. It's not difficult to satisfy a woman, particularly your wife. Your wife can go any length with you, I tell you. It is your girlfriend who will drop you halfway if there's a problem, but with your wife will go any length with you to make things work. Yes, she will suffer with you. She will go through the rank and files with you. But you see your babe, she will drop you halfway when problem arises. Let your finance drop a bit. She will leave you. Fall sick and see who stays by your side. It's your wife. But that other girl will not stay. And some will say, okay, my wife does not have time. She does this, she does that. She does not look as cute as she used to be. How can she look as cute as she used to be? She takes care of the kids, she works, she does house chores, she does quite a number of things at the same time. While the one you're going to meet outside knows that you're going to come, she'll not get anything that she's doing. She's only waiting for you. Of course, she will look her best to keep you under wraps. She will. But give her a little test of life, and she will run. So, hello, Favor. I don't know if Favor is connected back to me now. Favor, are you with me now?
I'm here with you.
Hello, Favor.
I'm here.
Is Favor with me now?
Very well.
Okay, Favor. Sorry about that loss of audio there. So, what do you think husband and wife can do to connect, to have respect for themselves? Because nowadays, things just go haywire. The man is on this side, the woman is on this side. They are not connecting. A man and woman may be at home together, and you will hear them say, "Hey, Junior, tell your mother I don't want to eat vegetable soup. I want to eat ogbolo." That is the man that is still eating at home, or some of them will not eat again. You know, so how do we marry them together again so that there will be good communication between the husband and wife, and that in turn will breed respect?
I think couples should do everything to keep their communication line effective. No matter how bad your spouse hurts you, please and please don't shut down communication. It's very important. You must continue to talk to yourselves. They should find time out, take time out. And, sometimes this love that we're talking about, it needs to be refreshed too. Couples, they are very good at giving to children, giving to their family, but they don't give to their marriage. They should find time and invest into their marriage, find a time to sit together, talk about their worries, talk about their pains together as lovers, and then rekindle the love fire like it was while they were dating or some courting. They shouldn't allow that wind of love, that fire of love in their marriage to die. They should not stop talking. They should talk together in love. You discover that one of the reasons why couples shout for one another is because they can be there together physically, but they are emotionally detached. So when a man and a woman is emotionally detached, you hear them screaming.
In most families, in most homes today, I dare say, there is the presence of husband, there is the presence of wife, but they are emotionally disconnected, they are spiritually disconnected, they are financially disconnected, they are socially disconnected. In fact, they are just disconnected. They live together like roommates now, or housemates as the case may be. They sleep in different rooms. So how can they come together?
One of the ways they can come together is by forgiving themselves. From their heart, they should forgive. They should forgive themselves and look at where the issues, and again, in forgiving themselves, they have to do away with fault finding. And you cause this, you cause that is not necessary. At the time they start looking at who is at fault or who is not at fault, that problem will not be solved. So they should do away with fault finding, accept. If the man has said that he is wrong, the woman accepts that she's wrong, and then they are both on the same page, they forgive themselves. It's easy to come together again and move ahead. By the time they keep finding fault, it's your fault that this, it's your fault that, it may never work again. So for that man, for that woman that is emotionally, physically, and spiritually detached from the spouse, that marriage can work again. That marriage can come back together again. They must first win the battle in their minds by agreeing that it will work. If you agree in your mind that it will work, then all activities that you do is just towards making that marriage, making that relationship to work. All right? So it's for them to, look for that.
How does this respect in marriage affect the children?
A lot of ways. The children, it can affect their academic work. Academically, these children that used to be very sharp in school, you see them, they start going academically. Then emotionally, you see these children coming up with disorders, mental disorders. They start feeling depressed, unnecessary anxiety. These children will not be able to move along with their peers. Children that were supposed to be very lovely and friendly, they get to school and become bullies because that's what they see their parents do, always fighting. All right. So, and on the long run, the parents will lose. Some of these children, because they cannot cope any longer with what their parents do, then you see them going into suicidal attempts and all of that. And it's not healthy at all. No child wants to see their parents fighting. No child is happy to see their parents always quarreling, especially those ones that are very good at, using their children as baits. Some parents use their children as baits. This one will use, because the father offends the wife, she gets to the children. Because the man offends, the woman offends the man, it gets back to the children. No. We're not helping these children. We are not helping them. Please and please, parents, let's consider our children when we're making certain negative decisions so that we will learn to do things right. It will help our families to grow better and become even more united. And God will bless us too for doing the right thing.
Okay, Favor, you know that there are some men who would rather do for an outsider than their wives. I don't know why it's like that. There are men who would never ever spend money on their wives. They won't give, they will not spend, they won't buy, they won't do anything for their wives. And that woman is supposed to be your wife. I don't understand. What did the woman do now?
It's just painful, honestly, very painful. We have a lot of them. Benin, we call them Adazoe. They are kingmakers outside, but in their own homes, not at all.
Role of praising your wife, validating your wife. You know that there are some men, no matter what their wives wear, no matter what their wives do, there is never a word like thank you. Even when the wife will use their money to do things in the house, there's no say, no thank you. No, oh, you look so good today. No, how, oh, baby, you look fine. You know that kind of thing. Oh, this dress is nice. Oh, no, I don't like this dress. You know, validation from your husband. What is the role of validation or being praised or being honored or being adored? What does it do to a woman? Because you're in the medical field. What does it do to the psychology of a woman? I just want to know.
You know, when you do that to a woman, you are making a world, you are building an empire. Inshallah, as you were saying it, I was just smiling as though you were saying them to me. And, there's this hormone in my system that's just been released. And I'm feeling very happy like you were talking to me. When you validate your wife, when you tell her sweet, beautiful words, she can go at any length to make your life comfortable for you. So I don't beg our men, if you want your home to be peaceful, if you want to have children, lovely children, if you want things to go well in your home, just continue appreciating your wife. Look for an area of strength and continue to praise her, magnify her strength over her weaknesses. You will have to do less things in the house. You have to even, she does not mind before your salary comes. She has finished spending her salary. She will even look for to join and assist you to the greatest end she wants to do. It makes the woman happy. It makes her healthier. It makes her strong for you and your family as a man. So please and please, let's validate our women. Your hair is fine. Oh, you look beautiful today. And this your earring. It's very fine, and all of that. Little words of affirmation has a way of getting to the woman's heart. All right. Okay. Oh, this place look very clean. Oh, madam, it's like you mopped. Oh, that's why you are my wife. Things like that. It will not cost you anything to do. As a man for your wife.
Favor. Thank you so much. All right, Favor, I said so much this afternoon. You want respect from your wife, no be so. There are little things you should do. Validate your wife. Praise her. Your wife gives you food, even if you are the one that provided the money. Thank her after eating. Praise the food. Praise your wife. But some men, they are in that school of comparison. Oh, you not sit down one wife. You not sit down one wife. And you're saying that to your wife. That means you're not ready to be respected, though. Something as small and as simple as just an apple or a piece of cake or something. You're coming back from work or wherever it is, and you bring one for your wife. You say, babe, I just brought this for you. Do you know, to your wife is a very big thing. You don't. It's not until you buy a car or you buy your house before you're doing something. Just little things that you think are not important. Those are the things that are more important to the woman. And all of the respect that you want you will get, okay? And then the children will be happy, and you also will be very happy and want to go home. Not the ones that will close from work and don't want to go home until like past midnight and all of that, all right? Do that little thing for your wife, and all of that respect you will get. And woman, you too, try, all right? Even if the man is trying to bring out the worst in you, try now, just try, and then you'll be happy. And instead of resorting to domestic violence, you can actually go your separate ways, all right? If you do all of this, I'm sure we're going to build stronger and finer relationship in marriage. Thank you for watching. Do have a great day. Thank you, Favor, for doing me this favor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, I'm grateful.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
Top on the list of the initiates was the eldest son of the Esama of Benin and former governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosakare Igbenedion. 11 of his siblings, namely Bright Ayamekwe Igbenedion, Honorable Charles Osemwige Igbenedion, Peter Osawari Igbenedion, Dr. Fred Osanwi Igbenedion, Barrister Mike Osarene Igbenedion, Efosa Douglas Igbenedion, Upuma Enes Igbenedion, Osawe Igbenedion, Edosa Igbenedion, Dr. Daniel Omorige Igbenedion, Agbon Steve Igbenedion, as well as the Executive Director Operations, ITV and Radio, Chief Elder Ugbeide Nwonse. It was a vital aspect of Okada community's cultural heritage, which emphasized the significance of age, responsibility, and community service. Over 50 notable sons of Okada were also initiated. According to tradition and customs, those initiated, dressed in white traditional attire, were made to undergo some rituals, while the Odionwe pronounces blessings on them and assisted them to take a seat with the elders.